Ya está, ya están aquí.
Recording in progress.
Oh, really? I had headphones in. Okay. Wow. Get some of this. I like to just whatever.
Hello, hello, everybody.
How's Crystal Cares?
It is.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Penny.
No, no lo apagues.
Yeah, I got a Valor up just so you guys know. I know most of you know me and I'm like, blah, 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 but I'm the most introverted extrovert ever, believe it or not. Just saying. It's a real thing. Okay, Crystal, I did make you the co-host, just so you know.
You got it.
Thank you, ma'am. Here.
I guess I got to be on my game or something. Should I Valor up too? Should I Valor up too? I mean, maybe I put the wrong thing on.
See, I've got Yudi on as my helper today too, that my teammate here. My partner in crime is what I call her. Although we'll never tell you what crime it was. Just saying, you know. Here too. gallery view so I'm not staring at myself the whole time, because then I'll be like, and I'll totally lose track. Would not be good. Okay. Hi, everybody. How's it going? So normally I would totally wait a few minutes, let everybody kind of jump in, but there's a lot of information to cover, even though this is an adrenal basics class. So we are just going to get started, and we do have the recording. So there's that, that you guys can share with your teams. Oh, hello, Aussie friends. I'm so happy you're joining us. Good morning. You guys are amazing. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rebecca. All right. So there's a lot. We actually just did, I don't know if you guys were there, but we had Well Village did summer supplements.
You don't like what?
So Well Village did summer supplements, and they had some really good information there too. Let's see.
You don't have headphones there?
Please go ahead and mute yourselves. Thank you so much. There we go. Actually, I can do that. She can be taught. I'm learning things. Okay, there we go. It's nice to learn, right? We're always learning. Me, it's technology. I don't know. I had kids, they got grown. No one helps me. I don't know. I'm still learning. Okay, so adrenal health. This is something very near and dear to me, because this is something that I have struggled with my whole entire life. And at one time was diagnosed with an adrenal disorder. It's autoimmune. I'm an autoimmune warrior. So for all of you, like, love ya, mean it. Addison's disorder or disease is something that I was diagnosed with a long time ago. I got retested in the past few years, and it's not the same. So that's a good thing, which means that, of course, we know that our bodies can heal a little bit. And that's mainly what supplements for in this case, is to give our bodies the adrenal support, the nutrients that they need so that they can regulate our hormones, because our adrenal glands are very important to that. It's interesting because the title Adrenal Fatigue in the medical community is kind of a bad word. If you're a doctor, you do not want to hear that word. It's not proven to them. But then if you've suffered with adrenal issues, you absolutely understand the term adrenal fatigue. It just totally makes you relate to that term, because you feel overworked, stressed, burnt out, sometimes low sex drive. You can drink as much caffeine as you want, and it doesn't work. There's a depressive mood that can come along with struggling with our imbalance of our adrenal glands, even lightheadedness, brain fog, low energy. So a lot of times it's categorized similarly in the medical community, kind of like fibromyalgia is to the body, adrenal fatigue is to the brain. So it's kind of that big, broad tent of stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about the science of it. And then, of course, as always, we're going to pull in some of our Young Living supplements to help us see what we can do within our own community, what we can purchase that we have. And we have some amazing support, which I know you guys are not surprised, but amazing support with Young Living, of course. So adrenal fatigue, what is it? Okay. So we have three major parts of our brain. We have our neocortex, our limbic brain, our cerebellum. There are hundreds of billions of neurons that fire all of the time. It's said that if you were to take all of the neurons that fire and stack them like sheets of paper, and it would literally, from LA all the way to London, would be the amount of paper. That is how long that stack would reach. So we think about like the connectivity between what's happening in our brains all the time. And our hormones have a lot to do with that. And it's funny, not funny, haha, but funny, ironic that is the hardest thing for our doctors to figure out on our behalf, is where we are hormonally, because on any given day, it can change. So our experiences have a lot to do with our adrenal disorders or misfunctions, as we're going to talk about a little bit. So the adrenal glands, what they do, there's two different types. Okay, there's two sections. You have an inner and you have an outer. So the inner section of your adrenal gland, what it does is it's responsible for your stress hormones. Then you have the outer. So your outer section of your adrenal glands are responsible for your glucocorticoids and your aldosterones, okay? Your aldosterones. And why those words are so big, I don't know, but you know, it's science. So I will break it down super simple. What it directly affects is your blood pressure, your conversion of carbs into energy, fun fact, and obviously your adrenals response to stress. Can your adrenals get burned out? That's like the number one thing we hear everywhere. If you are to Google adrenal disorders or, you know, adrenal fatigue, you're going to see the word burnout coupled by adrenal glands. The good news is no, they can't. They cannot burn out. Unless you have one of two types of disorders, which we talked a little bit about, Addison's. That's an autoimmune where it's a failure to produce the cortisol needed to respond to stress. Cortisol is not a bad word, I promise. We really need cortisol. It is a very good thing in its proper doses. Then you have Cushing's disease, which interestingly enough is more diagnosed with animals. But Cushing's is an overproduction of adrenal cortex hormone. So it's that section of the brain. So it does then overproduce cortisol. In that case, it can be very serious because that cortisol production can affect your organs. It can affect your mood. It can affect your serotonin. It can affect your gut. It can affect your liver. It can affect almost everything in your body at that time. So those two things are proven. Those are two things that you can literally find in the DSM if you were to look it up in the medical, medical books and things like that. You can go to your doctor. Your doctor can talk about those legit disorders with you. But the adrenal glands never burn out. They're meant to be the superheroes of the body. They are literally meant to show up and say, hey, not today. I know she's stressed out and can't handle it, but guess what? I'm here. Yeah, you might wear down all the organs like the heart. She might die of a heart attack, but she's not going to die of adrenal burnout. I promise you, because I am here. And I believe that the adrenals do a Superman stance. Like I can just see it in my head, you know, because they have a lot of power in our body and they are very responsive to what we need. But they can get very tired. And this is where that term fatigue comes into. It is true. So for me, I remember when no one knew about the adrenals and no one used that term fatigue. So it did come from a doctor. His name is James Wilson. So this doctor was really concerned about the adrenals, and that was his specialty. He wanted to get to the bottom of why particularly so many women there's nothing, they can take antidepressants, they can, take caffeine, they can take anti-anxiety medicine, they can lose weight, they can gain weight, they can sleep, but they are still exhausted. And it's not perimenopause and it's not menopause and there's no cause for that. And it's not an autoimmune disorder like fibromyalgia or RA or any sort of arthritic disorder. Well, because he looked so far into that and he did a lot of the science, he came up with that generalized term fatigue. So basically, what happens when you are going through so much stress that you cannot hit the pause button, when it is a stress that is overactive and it continues, right? We're meant to deal with stress, but we are not meant to deal with stress like, I always describe it like if you have ever seen a tennis ball or a softball machine, and you know how them softballs and tennis balls just keep like boom, 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 boom. If it doesn't malfunction, you can reset, hit the ball again, reset, hit the ball again. If you've ever seen one of those machines malfunction, which I have been on the other side of that as a softball player, you can't stop the balls and you're just like trying to find out how to quickly get out of the cage, okay? So when you're under that kind of stress and it's like ball after ball after ball after ball after ball, the adrenal glands keep showing up and they keep showing up and it's Superman stance and it's Superman stance and then it's like this. So it just gets kinked and it just doesn't work right. So it's still working, but it can't show up on our behalf the way that we want it to do so. Please forgive me if you hear my bunnies. They decided that they would like to be a part of the conversation today. So that's all the scratching you guys hear in the background, if you can hear it. So when the body goes through that, it not only misfunctions or helps our adrenal glands don't slow down, but here's why they slow down. Not so much because it's all this cortisol or it's burning out or they're going to die, but because we have all the other parts of the body too that are not working correctly. Because as you know, cortisol has to run through the body, cycle through the body, go through the kidneys, do what it's supposed to do, and find its way out, right? Where it's supposed to go. So now we are dealing with most likely our gut not functioning correctly, our liver not functioning correctly. Now we're dealing with depression, or we're dealing with the fact that we haven't felt well. So now we're supplementing maybe the wrong things, maybe too much of the right things. So now our body has to take all of those things and figure out where to put that and where it belongs. So if you've ever felt not only the adrenal fatigue, like just absolutely tired where you cannot function and you can't think and you just want to sleep all day, but now you're retaining water. Now you're having restroom issues. Now everything you eat is hurting your stomach. Now you're depressed. Now all of the good progress you've made in your health and wellness goals have started to decline a little bit. Well, that's when your body's kind of at war, and that's what is described as the adrenal fatigue, as we know. So one of the things that the words that are used in the medical community, so if you were to go talk to your doctors, what you want to say is depleted. Like you feel that your energy is depleted, your adrenals are depleted. That word holds a little bit more weight than fatigue with your doctors. So write that down. That is a fun fact, because when it is depleted, then they can help you get to the cause of why that is. And really, that's what we want to do, is get to the cause, treat the cause, not the symptom. That's what we're here for, right? We know that it takes a little bit longer, but that's what we're here for, to look at what those causes can be. So we know that it is stress related, either way. And stress, okay, you can be fit, you could be perfect health, not have any depression, not have any anxiety, not have any issues, but still be exhausted and feel like your adrenals are failing you. They are not showing up for you. That's because the body can't tell good stress from bad stress. Your brain cannot tell. Stress is stress to your body. So if you're a runner, but you're not able to run the way that you were before, that could be that your adrenals are overworking. That is stress to your body. Maybe you're lifting weights and you don't have the strength that you used to have, and you're just exhausted and you can't do it. That could be that you're not giving your adrenals the nutrients that they need in order to show up and regulate those hormones and be there for you. So keep that in mind too. It could be that you're the most healthiest person in the world, and when you show up to your doctor and they say, but nothing's wrong with you, you're crazy. And you go, no, something's wrong with me, and I'm not crazy because I feel like this. It very well can be the type of exercise you're doing. It could be how much exercise you're doing. It could be where you're putting your focus at in your life, etc. So those are some of the things that can cause this adrenal issue. But there is no scientific proof that you can completely wipe out your adrenal glands. I just want you guys to know that. How is it diagnosed? If you do have an adrenal disorder, is going to be through blood work. And it's going to be in one day, you will show up several times in that day and get your blood tested for cortisol at different times of the day. Then your doctor can take that and see the range throughout your day. Then they can be able to look and say, okay, what were you doing before this? What were you doing after this? What did you eat? Where were you? Where were you in the scheme of your day? How much sleep, etc., and kind of help you go from there too. So it is blood work. If your doctor wants to give you a saliva test, it will not give you the results that you want. I promise you. Cortisol can be tested through saliva, but it cannot tell you what the pattern is in your body without the blood. So please make sure you get blood work done and make sure you know that. We just recently learned in the past few years with thyroid, for example, the T3 and T4. The doctors weren't treating or testing for the T4. They were using a T3 and they were looking at this measure and everyone was falling into health. They didn't have the T4, or vice versa, actually. If anybody knows about that. I believe it's the T3. They were testing for T3 and not the T4. So then all of a sudden they realized, whoa, we have got to test both because both of those hormones do something different for the thyroid. And then you can see the difference in where they are and help a little bit better with medication. So even if somebody was off of the spectrum and they were treating the thyroid disorder, they weren't able to give them the correct amount, the correct dosage. So that's what happens with saliva tests. You can get your cortisol levels checked through saliva, but what you cannot get is a proper range so that whatever it is that you're doing medically, if you have a disorder, is treated properly. And that is something that you want to keep in mind. Now, what are the best things? That's a whole lot of information. Okay. How's everybody doing so far? Are we good? Are we there? We have to take a breath. Do we need a glass of wine? Where are we at? We're good. Okay, cool. All right. So, well, I'm going to take a sip of wine because that's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Okay. So moving right along, let's talk about some of our wonderful products that we use. Now, today in the Well Village class, if you guys were there, I have to say the person that brought up the B complex, I do not know who she is, but I love her. Like if I could just hug her like right now, she is like the sweetest person ever. And she was so right. Our vitamin Bs are directly related to our stress. And of course, if you've watched any of my classes before, you know that's the first thing your body depletes. A lot of times we think B12, B6, because those are energy related B vitamins. But in this case, we want to look at vitamin B5 and we want to look at vitamin B6, not so much B12, B5, B6, because those vitamins also help with oxygen production, etc. And those nutrients are necessary in order to break down some of the nutrients, even in superfoods, in order to assimilate them correctly into the body. So those two nutrients are important, those little macronutrients that we need. Alkaline is important. Your pH balance is important. No one will ever put those two things together, but here's why it's so important. If you do not have an alkaline body, yes, B complex, I saw that question. Our Super B is perfect. You can take the Super B every day, unless you have an issue with that or it doesn't do well with you. Yes, Super B is okay. The amount of B5, B6 is in there. The Super B will help with stress in general, which can help your, your adrenals be supported, not just your adrenals, but also your heart, also your eyes, your health, your hair, your skin. Some of the Bs actually really help with circulation. So if you are ever running and your feet get swollen, take the vitamin Bs. Another fun fact for you. Anyways, going back to adrenals, sorry. Where are we talking about? Our vitamin Bs? Okay. But our alkaline, if we're not pH balanced, then it's going to be very difficult for the Bs to live long enough to do their job. So that is what we want to focus on when it talks about a good pH balance for us and our bodies, because things like our B vitamins, our nutrients like that die very easily in an acidic body. And if you guys have ever watched a class on frequencies, our bodies and the frequencies that they have, when you have a pH balance that is not, it's a little bit off and it's not okay, you're in an imbalance there, your frequency is not where it needs to be either. And that's when this overproduction of stress can turn a little bit lethal, because now the stress is attacking, you have the cells that are breaking down. So that's where you can get other disorders and, things like the big C word that we don't want to talk about, because we're going to be correct and be able to post this and have it not be taken down. So we'll go from there. So alkaline, B complex is okay, but B6 and B5, just to regroup. Our minerals like magnesium and calcium are very important, but it's going to be magnesium more so than calcium. Magnesium has so many different types of magnesium. So if you've ever been to a health food store and you've gone to your mineral section and you have looked at the magnesium row, it's a little bit overwhelming. The magnesium that you want to focus on when it comes to adrenal support is going to be the citrate. So that's CI trait. So citrate is what you guys want to focus on. This is why. That's the natural form of magnesium that is most bioavailable to your body. You can do a complex because sometimes the citrate's really hard on the stomach, and a lot of times people have a hard time absorbing that. To be honest, in my opinion, anything liquid is going to be a little bit better for you. So liquid minerals are always going to be better bioavailable and easier on your stomach, absorbed quickly, for sure. We also want to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, which is ashwagandha. It is an adaptogenic herb. It's from Ayurvedic medicine. For those of you who have taken ashwagandha, you either love it or hate it. It works for you or it doesn't. If you've taken it in large doses to start out, then I would suggest you try again, because a lot of times ashwagandha, if you buy it in a complex, it's an amount that's very small. And if you buy it in a tincture, it's an amount that's very high. And you really want to start with something around the 400s, 475. You don't want to go any higher than that. Why? Is because your body can't really absorb more than that. And because it's an adaptogenic herb, it builds in your body a little bit. So it kind of helps build a little bit. Your body doesn't get rid of it all at once. So it kind of stays there for a little bit. So we have ashwagandha that is amazing. Liquid tincture is wonderful, but I would say make sure you look at the milligram, and please, it's always better to go low than high. So start low, maybe half is always better with that one. And then do your own research, see where that kind of fits in for you. And then the number one thing right now, it was funny when I Googled it earlier, that everyone is doing is cordyceps for adrenal support. Cordyceps are from the mushroom family. Okay. So, well, most of them are from the mushroom family. We'll leave it at that. So people are taking the cordyceps to help with brain function in order to help the adrenal glands, but that doesn't work physiologically. If you were going to do your research for that, you would see that though you can help the brain with cordyceps, they do help a little bit because of the frequency that they have. They're able to help with concentration and focus, and that helps with stress, because when you don't feel good and you have brain fog and you have low energy and you can't think and you can't work and you can't get through your day, then that's automatic stress. And then you end up procrastinating most likely. And then it's the end of your day and you're trying to cram everything into the end of your day. And then you're completely stressed out. And then you're not wanting to go to tomorrow, because you definitely don't want the rest of your to-do list to carry over, because you have another to-do list of things to do. So if that is how you feel, don't worry. The cordyceps will not help the adrenals that much. So if you're taking cordyceps for the adrenal glands, don't. If you need it to help you with your stress level through the day, that's okay. But I would just say, please be careful, because the way that cordyceps work, the way that the mushrooms, the fungus works in our brain and in our body, is to definitely slow us down a little bit. They are better for hyperactive human beings whose brains work in overdrive, to help slow it down a little bit and help them focus a little bit better. So just a tip when it comes to cordyceps for that. So it's beyond confusing for consumers to know what's worth buying and then what are worthless fakes. That's the hardest thing for consumers, because if you were to go to the adrenal section in the store, you're going to literally find something for heart, for brain, for stress, for vitamins, for Bs. You're going to find B complexes. You're going to find your cordyceps. I mean, you're going to find mood, sleep support, 5-HTP is in there. So I will say I have seen so many customers in my life that have wasted the most money on that section of the health food store than in any other section ever. And then you take them all at one time because they're supposed to work together and they don't. So it's okay. You know, when you go and look for those things to not purchase, I would say, please do your research. And, you know, you can always talk to any one of us. Yudi, who's on my team, she is wonderful. And she is a certified practitioner as well when it comes to herbal remedies. And also, I believe it's homeopathic. Give me a nod. Is it homeopathic? Okay, cool.
Certified health coach. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Not as much as you. I mean, I love hearing you. I'm like, wow, it's just amazing. It's like I never stop learning. So I'm just like here taking notes. Wow, I forgot about that one. No, I didn't know about that one. So I really like it.
Yudi's a gift to me. She's like my alter ego. So I always call her my partner in crime. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of Young Living supplements real quick. And then we're going to finish up with a little bit more consumer focused topics, and then we'll do a Q&A. So Yudi's going to talk to us a little bit about Cortistop, which is like, I can't live without Cortistop. So
Yeah.
Go ahead, Miss Yudi.
Yes, neither can I. So I do have the little bottle so you guys can have like a visual. Because of my blur, maybe you can't see it, but I know, sorry guys. I don't have the best background here. Yes, Cortistop. Thank you, Penny. Yes, that one. Yeah, so Cortistop is many of our herbal supplements that Young Living has. So Cortistop was, sorry, I'm so nervous and I'm having a tongue twist. So Cortistop is, it's our herbal remedy that was designed to lower our cortisol in our body. So as Penny was mentioning, so cortisol is our stress hormone also. It's known as our stress hormone. So when we produce too much cortisol in our body, it can have a negative health impact. How? Well, like Penny was mentioning, we can feel fatigue. You know, it can suppress our immune system as well, or that weight gain as well. Why weight gain? Because you're under stress. So what do we do when we're stressed? Our levels of cortisol go up and we tend to want to eat more because we look for food, a source of energy, because we're feeling run down. So we need to fuel our body. So therefore we start munching, right? We start munching and we start gaining weight. And then we're wondering where this is coming from. So it's coming from those high levels of cortisol in our body. So like Penny was saying, it's really important to maintain it at a healthy level. That way we don't have those unwanted symptoms. Me as a mommy, I've been taking the supplement and for almost 2 months now, because you do have to take it for 8 weeks and then give it a break for around 2 to 4 weeks. And then you start again, because like they were mentioning, these are made with herbs that adapt to our body. So we have to give it a break. It starts building in our body. So one of the things that I love is that I did notice that I didn't have those like midday crush downs where I'm just like melting for a nap time. So because, you know, with kids, you know, you start really feeling run down. So you want those midday naps. And with when I started taking the supplement, it was helping me a lot not to feel that way. So I'm not saying I have that humongous extra energy, but at least it's helping me to maintain, you know, my daily routine with my kids. So that I really like. So if you've been feeling with a lot of stress, it's really important to check your cortisol levels. And if, I mean, really, you have to think about the symptoms: fatigue, weight gain, you know, very sleepy. So those are some of the symptoms to watch out for. And right now, I mean, I'm loving it. I'm like kind of sad because I think I'm on the last capsules that I have to stop taking, because it's really been helping me, but I'm sure I'm going to do just fine with it. So that's a wrap for me. Thanks, Penny.
Thank you so much, Yudi. Yes, so the Cortistop, because we talked a little bit earlier that these adaptogenic herbs build in your body. So if you get Cortistop, get 2 months, because you want to take it for 2 months, 8 weeks, and then you stop taking it for 4 weeks, and then you start again. And those instructions are on the bottle for us. It is very, 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 one more very important to follow the instructions. Here's why. In our Cortistop supplement, in this complex that we have DHEA, pregnenolone, phosphatidylcholine, which is actually part of the B family, pregnenolone, which is part of, well, if you've ever gone through the hormones and stuff like I have, you know that pregnenolone is kind of in that progesterone family. DHEA is naturally occurring in the body. It's actually what balances the levels of your estrogen, your progesterone, and your testosterone. So if we are putting DHEA into our body, it's a natural form of DHEA. So it can be damaging if you take too much, especially if you are perimenopausal or you are menopausal or you have just finished menopause, because that is something that can be, can throw your hormones off. So if we want to balance our hormones and help our stress levels, we certainly don't want the adverse effect because we're taking something too long or too much, and those things can happen. And then if you are younger and you are not experiencing any of those perimenopausal things, etc., you can actually put yourself into premenopause by putting things into your body like that build into your body and can throw off your levels of testosterone, progesterone. Mainly that's what they're going to help with, because your estrogen mainly dips up and down throughout the month. If those things get higher than your estrogen, your body goes into a state of, uh-oh, something's wrong here. I'm looking at menopause, and it starts reacting to different things. So please be careful with anything that has to do with your hormones in this way. And it's always better to talk to your doctor too, find out where your levels are. I help a lot of people that come to me with blood work and it says, they say I'm normal, and they show me the blood work and I'm not normal. I don't feel good. And they're literally like 2 points away from menopause. And they can't be classified that because they fall into this range, medically speaking, but they have all of the symptoms. And before their next checkup in 4 months or 5 months or 6 months or 90 days, they very well could be in that situation where their body goes into perimenopause or into menopause. Menopause, we know, is not technically classified menopause until you've gone without a period for at least a year. So just want to say that. And then even then you can still have a period after that, but still be into menopause. So if you're someone that's 4 months, 5 months, and you're having those kind of issues, please talk to your doctor, get your levels. If you need someone to help you look over the blood work and explain things, please contact me. I'm always there to help Oak Tribe with those things, and I don't charge you guys for that. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the B vitamins and what's important. Have any of you guys heard of selenium? Yes, no, yeah. Oh, okay. So selenium is a trace mineral. Trace minerals, there are 72 of them. 64 of them are actually in our mineral essence. So that's exciting. Those trace minerals are so important for us. Yeah, selenium for skin. Yeah, you're right. So a lot of times the selenium's for skin. It helps with hair. It's in a lot of hair complexes, etc. Yep, for hair. I love these chats. They're awesome. A deficiency with selenium has been traced to adrenal issues. So selenium is something that you can buy in a soft gel form, so it's a little bit more bioavailable. It is a trace mineral. But the good news is you're going to get it in the mineral essence that we carry too. So our mineral essence, if you guys have not tried that, it is awesome. It is gross, but it is awesome. I don't like it. Is there anybody who likes it at all? Because, or anybody who can't, like my husband can just do it. Oh yeah. So is it Celise? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I stick it in my Ningxia. It's not too bad for me.
Oh my
I think I got
God.
tired.
I did it with my Ningxia the other day and I was like, no, like it ruined Ningxia for me. I was so sad. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do, I have to do Ningxia like totally straight now because, oh, it kind of ruined it for me, but that's awesome that you like it. My husband's the same. He puts in his Ningxia. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Yeah. So the mineral essence, they recommend 5 droppers full. That's a lot of minerals because everything that we do has a lot packed into it. You can get more out of your mineral essence by doing half of that. If you do half of that, you're actually getting the minerals that's suggested that you need every day. There are 72 other trace minerals though. So if you are looking at the ingredients and you do a little bit of research on that, and you feel like there's something else going on with you, or you're taking the minerals and you're just not finding what you should be getting from the minerals, then look into getting concentrate trace minerals. Concentrate trace minerals is the only company worldwide that I will ever take minerals from. But here's the problem. Of course, some of those minerals come from places like China. So there's definitely a little bit of a lead warning for that on everything, like everything, right? But here's the good news. Because of the elevation of where those minerals are or where they're founded, that's probably the cleanest place in the hills in China that you can be. That's where the tea trees grow. So in the valleys where the tea trees grow. And it's funny because the teas in China that we know are just the Chinese teas, especially their green tea that is so amazing. It's soaking up those minerals that are in that part of the earth, and it's pulling it into their teas. And that's why some of Chinese teas are the best teas that we could ever get green tea wise. But there are some other companies out there that are very good. So don't just take my suggestion. Please do your research. Matter of fact, there might be somebody in here that can talk about what is that company? I think it's they're known for their like chlorophyll, and I think it's Nutra something or Sunnyside something. Does anybody know of anything like that?
Nature Sunshine.
Yes, Nature Sunshine, Yudi for the rescue. Who else knew about that one? Yes, Jamie. All right, cool. Jamie, I knew you would because you and I talked about it. I was like, is she here? I can't even see her. Okay, there she is. Yeah, so Nature Sunshine has wonderful products as far as minerals go. Chlorophyll greens. They're well known for years and years and years and years. I do recommend that company a lot. Someone had asked for the ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is very difficult to mess up. You can't really mess up adaptogenic herbs like that. So I don't have a favorite. I don't take them. Probably the most cost-effective one is by a company called Plant. It's PLNT. The reason that the A is taken out of it is because there's no additives in that product. So it is a 100% ashwagandha product. Some of the other adaptogenic herbs and plant extracts that you guys can consider would be rhodiola. Rhodiola rosea actually is what you want to look for. Shishandra extract. And then you can look at things like your Lythrococcus root extract and astragalus. I will type that into the chat for you. It's very hard to find those nowadays. They used to be everywhere and now they're very difficult to find. So I'll type them into the chat for you guys so you can see what they are. But the adaptogens help modulate the body's response to stress. What an adaptogen herb is, it's going to be here, but when the stress comes, it's going to meet the level of the stress. It's going to adapt to the body. And then it falls back down. So that's why they're called adaptogenic herbs. They are used in Ayurvedic medicine, Indian medicine. They're like my favorite things ever. Please keep in mind that you need a hot herb. So you need a black pepper, a bioperine, you need a ginger, or you need an essential oil in order for these things to actually be absorbable. So that's where you might get into the issue if you buy the ashwagandha root somewhere and it's in a capsule. You could actually take that with your Ningxia. So that's something that you can do with your Ningxia, any adaptogenic herb, something like that, because we have our lime oil and other things that can help with bioavailability in the Ningxia. Vitamin C is huge also for adrenal support, but it's the acerola berry and the rosehip vitamin C that you want to focus on when you're talking about adrenals. Acerola vitamin C comes from cherries. It is a very potent form, natural form of vitamin C. So obviously, if you have a cherry allergy, I'm very sorry, but it comes from the tart cherries and it helps with lots of stuff. So it can help with sleep. It can help with edema. It can help with gout. It can help with uric acid. It can help keep that from, making crystals in your body. So there's a lot of good stuff to vitamin C. It's okay that it comes in a lower dose. It's a very potent vitamin C. So you don't have to take, 15 of them to work. So follow the instructions when you do find that brand. There's actually an Acerola brand. I think it's by American Health or I think it's American Health brand that's Acerola. And then there's an Acerola brand. It's a company that just does vitamin C specifically for that reason. That's very good. And the price point's pretty good too. And I'm going to send you guys in the chat, I'm going to send you to a couple of websites where you can do a little bit of research also. Some of where I pull research from. And then I have a online vitamin store for friends in Australia and things like that might be helpful for you to get what you need as well. I did want to say something. I have on my team friends from Australia and friends that I've helped. I just learned, and I think Abby Murray's on, she can explain, but I think it's called pirate shipping. So if y'all need something, I'll ship it. Like, just let me know. You can send me money and I will ship it. Okay. Because I want you to get it. I'm just telling you. And we have, yep, Abby says pirate ship. Yeah, absolutely. So we've found ways because we have mixed teams of supporting you guys because you can't get some of the stuff to you that way. So just get in contact with your up, down, crossways brand partners, however you need to get what you need. I see Jean, she's like, yeah, hello, I'm on that right now after this. What time is it? No, I can see her right now. Okay, you guys. So one of the main things I want you to think about really quickly before we start doing a little bit of Q&A is reversing this. If we're going to reverse the adrenal fatigue or the adrenal issues, it's also important in your diet. So protein, carbs, and fats need to be balanced in your diet. It's very important when it comes to adrenal health. There's fun research on that. We're not going to talk about that now because this is a basics class. So I have to hold myself back sometimes because there's a lot more I want to say. And perhaps we'll do another sort of adrenal class a little bit later, but these are just basic stuff for you guys. That's all I've got. So we can do a little bit of Q&A if Crystal wouldn't mind helping me with that. And I apologize if there's too much additional info. You guys, I just get so carried away. Before we do something though, let me see if I can screen share. I'd like to screen share a graphic real quick. And then you guys can take a picture of it and look at it, but it is how to support your adrenal health in total, okay? So let me find that for you. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I don't know how to get that off of there. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's why. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we'll see if maybe it'll let me do that. That might be a little bit easier for you guys to see. There we go. Super new to this. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, you guys, there you go. So go ahead and screenshot if you can. This is kind of the circle of things that we can do to support our overall adrenal health. And this is 100% natural adrenal support supplements and stuff is what we are, of course, talking about. Abby, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. I actually had done like blood tests, just regular lab work for but it included like all the ones I needed for thyroid. But I do have a question about when you said saliva. When I did the saliva one, it was throughout the day. So it wasn't like just one vial, it was different vials that tested different hormones, including cortisol and DHEA. So are you saying that those are not going to catch the same thing because even though we did it throughout the day?
Yeah, you want to do the blood work. They're not going to catch the total spectrum from one side to the other without the blood work.
Like when you say total spectrum, what are you referring to?
You know, each test has a 100% good or you're out of range, right?
Yeah.
So with saliva tests, you can't get the correct range. You're going to get, you're going to be able to see if you're out of range mostly. So then obviously, you know, that's the cheaper way to do it. That's why most people do it that way. But the blood work is actually going to break it down a little bit, and you're going to be able to see how far you are or where you are in range a lot better. And then when you have numbers like that in your blood work, then you can trace that to something else that's done in your blood work. So if you were able to see your cortisol, and then you said you were able to see your DHEA levels, right?
Yeah, they did everything. It was a whole spectrum. So it was like, oh, you're spiking at this time in the morning, but you're dropping at 1 o'clock. Then you're coming up to normal. So it shows everything.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for most of us to go up and down. But in the blood work, you're going to have more history in your body and your blood than you will in your saliva.
Okay. Yeah. I was just asking because I was told different. So I wanted to make sure I understood.
I'll send you some research for it. I'll send some links to you.
Yeah.
It's really cool research.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Who do we got?
Does Hensley, would you like to?
Thanks, Crystal.
Is this how you want me to do it, Penny? Do you want me to call on people or read some of the comments?
Whatever is best. Go for it. Where are we with time, Mol? Because
it's 10:09 here, but I'm sure everybody, it's up to you, but I think we're good on it.
We think we're good? Okay, cool. Go, Hensley. I love to talk to people.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned the alkaline, that we have to be pH balanced or the nutrients will die in an acidic body.
Some of them, yep.
Okay, so how do we know?
With your pH, you can get that test very easy. You can buy pH strips even from your local drugstores. Yeah, they're mainly P tests, but you can also get your blood tested for that too.
Amy?
Yes, I wanted to say I love the Cortistop. I've been taking it. I'm following a couple oily leaders, and they take the Cortistop in the morning and then Thyromin at night. And I started doing that and just wondered, is there a benefit? If so, what? Yeah, that's my question.
I take Thyromin at night. I take Cortistop in the morning and Thyromin at night. You can also take Cortistop in the evening as well. You can take it twice a day if you prefer, but the benefits of the Thyromin are, man, Thyromin's amazing. And it's not for people with thyroid issues. It's to support a healthy thyroid. For some reason, those two paired together is awesome. They are awesome. If you are someone who takes the Cortistop, but you're still struggling with sleep patterns, then that means that your thyroid needs probably a little bit more support. And that's what the Thyromin can do, is balance some of those hormones for you. I highly recommend both of them together. But just
Awesome.
if you do have, just real quick, if you do have thyroid issues though, you need to show that complex to your doctor. Most people I talk to, their doctors are perfectly happy with that anyway. But if you're taking medication, remember that some natural things can counteract with medications. And you definitely, your doctor is going to be the best person to go to for that.
Rosia, do you have a question?
Yes. So my question is, I have been taking Progestins Plus, but I didn't realize that there was some wild yam and Cortistop too. Is it okay to use both of them?
So 80 milligrams of wild yam is the preferred amount for your body. So look at and see if you can find out how much. But I'll tell you, the amount of wild yam in the Progestins is more than the Cortistop. The reason that you have the wild yam in the Cortistop is to balance out the pregnenolone and work with the DHEA. So they're working in harmony with each other. When you're taking the Progestins, it's the same. That complex is working in harmony with it at the same time, but you wouldn't want to take both of them at the same time. The instructions on Cordyceps is to take it first thing in the morning by itself before you eat. So then if you do the Progestins a little bit later, like most of us do, I do the Progestins in the morning as well, then that should be, for most people, perfectly fine. I have messed up and taken the Progestins way too close to the Cortistop, and it has a reverse effect. I have never been so melancholy in my life. I was about to call my doctor because I am not a melancholy person. And I was just like, whoa. So I did not like that feeling. So please be careful if you take it. Now, if you're somebody who needs to be melancholy a little bit, do it. It might be cool, but I'm just saying it was not cool for me. I was like, something is wrong. I went to my husband and I said, this is terrible. I don't know what's wrong with me. Are you sad? No. Are you mad? No. Do you need to sleep? No. What do you want to do? Nothing. I just want to sit here all day. So I do think that the complexes too close together are really going to mellow you out a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Hensley, before I get back to you real quick, I'm just going to ask this question. It's no question is silly. But someone asked if Cortistop is good for men as well as women, and what about teens?
Teenagers, yes, you can use Cortistop if you're a teenager. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it because the hormones for teenagers are changing so fast that even in 2 months, you could have adverse reactions to that. Progestins is safer for teenagers. That much we know. Cortistop is for females. It is not for men because of the wild yam, because of the estrogen. That doesn't mean that men couldn't take it if that's something that they need to balance out that part of their hormones. If they have something going on that maybe they could benefit from that. But Young Living tells us that this is a female health complex.
Jamie, did you want to add to that? I think that was your question.
Yeah, I was like, that was me. I was just asking because my son, he's taking another cortisol medication, or not medication, supplement that's not from Young Living. And, with his illness, we're just trying to kind of manage that stress level and hoping it was working for sleep. So I was like, is that something I could give to him? But it's good to know that that's probably not the best idea for him. So
with what he has, he could probably benefit from the Thyromin.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, he could probably benefit from the Thyromin because, and I know a little bit about your son because we've talked a little bit. The Thyromin, because those are a lot of the kelp and the things that are in there that go straight to the bloodstream. They're more cleansing and purifying, and that way they give the thyroid support. That might be way more beneficial.
Okay, good to know. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hensley, did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I was just wondering, the cortisol, am I saying it right? Cortisol?
Yeah.
So if you're taking that, how soon do you notice any effects or changes from it?
Everybody and every body is completely different. If you are me and Amy Cox, sorry, Amy, but you already said this publicly, so don't get mad at me. If you are me or Amy Cox, our families know if we are missing a dose of cortisol. Okay. We might grow horns. We might. There's rumors. Love you too. So we know right away. But that's where we are at the time of life where we are, that we need that as regularly as we can. I had a week about 3 weeks ago where I did not feel right. I am a happy person, like all the time. I don't know. I try to choose that. I've been through a lot of trauma and stuff in my life. So I just kind of, and then I just focus and, just try to be happy and do what I can. But when things creep up on me and it's overwhelming and I am feeling not happy, I do not like that feeling. And I was super worried. And then I took Amy's class. I watched one of Amy's things that she did, and she was talking about how she needed to get off of it for a little bit for something else. But then her family was like, Mom, get back on the cortisol. We don't know who you are. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was a week late on my cortisol. I need the cortisol. Like it was that. And instantly in 2 days, back to balance. But that's me. Everybody's a little bit different. Depending on where you are at the time of life. For females, can be a little different. Sorry, Amy. But you're a Y leader, so your biz is out there, babe.
Ashley has her hand up.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi. I just was wondering, I think I heard you mention that B6 in particular can help with the oxygenation, and I'm assuming of red blood cells. So would it be an accurate statement that deficiencies in vitamin Bs could also lean towards anemias or anemic states, or is that not really related to vitamin B deficiencies and adrenal?
Girl, we got to talk. If you've got some anemia going on, we got to talk. That is a whole other thing. But yes, vitamin Bs are huge for that, because you can be severely anemic because of stress. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And not just that, but if you're severely anemic because of stress and you're depleted in vitamin Bs, then chances are you need to look at some autoimmune issues, because the blood's got to go somewhere. And a lot of times the body's fighting itself, and that would be something indicative of autoimmune.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to talk. That's one of my favorite things to talk about, but we don't have time today.
Okay, later.
Liz. Hi, Liz.
Let me.
Sorry, Crystal.
Oh, okay. So let me lower my hand. Okay, before I lose my thought. It's interesting because I do my Progestins Plus as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I got to take my cortisol before I eat. So literally within 30 minutes, I'm taking my cortisol. And I was wondering what the heck is going on with me that I have like little to no energy at all in the morning.
Yep.
And I just want to check out.
Yep. You're welcome. It's crazy, right?
And like you said, everybody and everybody's body is different. And reflecting back on the last time I was taking cortisol, I was taking it at night, and it was several hours after my Progestins Plus, because that's during the pajama taking a shower time. Bedtime isn't until like 11:30, so I had this break of hours. So my next question is, if we're taking Progestins Plus and cortisol very close to each other, how does that affect the cortisol with the midsection weight gain?
It's a very troubling, because you will tend to You're
grow.
gonna basically you're fighting, your body's fighting itself.
So I can always put that in check. I was like, what the heck is going on? It's like, I am inching out and I am not doing anything different. If anything, I'm cutting back on some, and I don't do like sweet stuff. But I was like, man, if I cut back anymore, but the rest of me is not gaining weight, and that's what bugs me.
Yep.
I don't like the whole thin thing, and then the midsection's getting around, because now I'm gonna go get me a moo or something. No, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna wear a tent, but I will have to.
I've got some you can borrow, babe. Don't worry.
Wrap a toga it for the rest of my life. No, ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I'm gonna switch that up. I'm gonna switch that up, and hopefully I know. And if I do, I will definitely let you girls know.
So the good thing is it's all superficial weight gain. So because cortisol is going to be held in the fat.
So you say.
Right. It can go pretty quickly. I'm in menopause. It's too. I don't know if you are or not. Sorry, I didn't mean also,
I am.
but I
am. Yep.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm just not keeping any of my friends' business today. I'm sorry. But that's a little bit superficial. So that can come off very quickly for most people. So yes, please let us know how you're doing. I would love to hear.
That should be in our book.
Well, I mean,
should be in our book. Okay. If you're
I wouldn't have a job, Liz. Okay. I wouldn't have a job then.
Well, you got to remember, not everybody does Young Living either, but we all have the book. So I would say, and they know when they wrote this book, it says, it's mostly female hormone health.
Yeah.
And there should be a little excerpt. However, if you're take it X amount of hours apart, something, because how many people don't know you, Penny, and are out there doing the same thing I'm doing?
Well, then you guys better share the love. No, I'm just kidding.
Be an annoyance. Okay.
I mean, hello. No, it's funny because sometimes for me, I can't do for others what I do for others. I don't know. That's why I have you guys. So I go to my friends that know me well, and that's how I can figure out some things for me. It's just weird how that works. Particularly your families are the best ones to tell you, but then if they don't have that background, then we have each other. And so we help each other. That's why I was so excited to see your hand, Liz. I love you to pieces.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the 411, because I think it's going to help a lot of us. We're trying to figure out, why is this happening to our bodies?
My pleasure. Okay. What else do we got?
We have Chelsea as well, but just be careful what you say. Penny's on a roll, sharing everybody's business. So there you go.
Be careful, Chelsea. Thank you, Crystal, because she's got to put me in check. See, that's why she's a co-host, because they keep me
You're doing great, Penny.
Oh, thank you. I do know these friends. I'm just saying, guys, and I know it's okay. I promise, because I know many of you I've talked to, and I would never, and I have never shared anything personal. So. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, Penny. I'm an open book. You're good with me. It's all good. If you got something, you got to share it, So my question is, I've never heard of this amazing cortisol stuff. And Canada, is it something that's an option? Because it's not in my handy dandy book. I'm a major newbie. I haven't heard anything of this.
No, Rachel says no. I was looking for Rachel. Rachel, you're there, yeah? No, yeah. Yeah, Rachel says
it's not an option.
I've been looking up everything. No mineral essence, no cortisol, ephemerin. Yeah.
That's so sad.
We're having fun over here. Natural health.
Okay.
Will ship, will share. Just saying.
Okay, because my mom has major thyroid issues, and this is she's been on so many medications, and for my family too, this could actually be, I'm just about to start I have to start at ground zero with health. And so I'm trying to figure out what, when you have limited funds, right? So this is super cool. And it's amazing to know that this could potentially be shipped. My other question was, with the progestins, I've been applying topically because that's all I knew. It sounds like people are maybe saying they're taking it. Is that internally?
Definitely not internally.
Okay, so when they're saying they're mixing it, it's topical versus.
Yes. So what you want to do with progestins, what's super important is that you never apply it in the same place twice.
Okay.
So inner thighs, arms, neck, Yes, like
Tootsies.
inner arm, right? Here, your neck area, inner thighs is good. I just rotate between those different points.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other tips with progestins? Please go ahead and you can unmute yourselves. Go for it.
Okay, so I when I came on, I met some diamonds here that have been like old school Young Living when Gary first came on board, and they lent me their CDs. And there's one CD where he actually says that his serum was designed not like anything from the market because of the way he's mixed it with the oils, that we don't have to rotate. But if you listen to other, like Jen O'Sullivan and another Young Living member who works with chemistry, they say to rotate. So Jen said she just does it just because she's heard the two schools of thought, you know, so it's something that you guys can also maybe research. I only go two places. I do my inner arms and my neck. I've learned that you don't put it directly on the thyroid.
Yeah, do not put it on the thyroid. Definitely going to be the sides. Yeah.
Yeah. So once in a while, maybe the inner thighs are under the breasts because that little voice is in my head saying, well, maybe you should rotate it. But Gary did say it did not have to be rotated. So just so you guys know.
I say that's a form of muscle testing, Liz, and you got to listen to your voice.
That's true. You know what? I never thought about that. I should do it.
So I do believe that, you guys, you know, no matter what the instructions say, if you're on a regimen of something and you pick up that bottle and you do not want it, do not take it anymore. So, matter of fact, that saves your budget. Let me tell you that, because you do not run through things because you think that you have to. Listen to your body, because things do build quickly. And because we are naturally focused and the environment that we put ourselves in, for the most part, things do work pretty quickly for us. And unless you're newer to doing things naturally and you're newer to Young Living, and maybe you're making a lot of ditch and switch changes in your life right now, so you have a little bit of an overload when it comes to toxicity. For the most part, most of us, things will be able to build really quickly. So, for example, when the turmeric went out of stock, I was not worried. It is such a potent complex that we have from Young Living that you literally can take it every few days and get amazing benefits from it. So, you know, I'm not one, I've been in health and wellness for almost 19 years now, 18 plus years. And I'm not one for selling and pushing things to just because. You got to listen to your body and take care of yourselves. And we have another question. I see Zaide. Hi.
Hey, Penny. I have my sister-in-law with me. She has a question for you.
Hi, what's your name? Shayla?
Shayla.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So quick question. The cortisol and the progestins, since PCOS symptoms kind of seem to be similar to adrenal fatigue, would those be good supplements for that?
PCOS is like this is the new disorder that is like on the tip of my list of things I hate. Like, this diagnosis is so irritating for so many reasons, because you have to get very specific things tested to actually be PCOS, right? Like your follicles have to be tested, et cetera. You need to fall within a certain range, right? So from 12 to 30, you have all these different qualifications for these kind of things. If you genuinely have PCOS and you are not in any way headed towards perimenopause or menopause, if that's where you are, and that would be a lot of younger people, so from teenagers in their 20s to 30s, yes, you can be perimenopausal, and that can affect your adrenal system in your 30s. depending on your life and what you've been through, trauma, stress, etc. But if it is truly PCOS, unfortunately, the cortisol is not meant for that, but progestin is. Progestin is. But what you can research is your liver support. Your liver support is going to be very critical to helping you with PCOS. And that's our I hope you come back and join us, because next month we're talking about the liver. So we'll dive into that a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we went through most of the questions. I don't know if I missed anything. There is one, I don't know if we answered it, but is it safe to take Cortisol with Femigen?
No. You need to spread them out for sure. You want to take Cortisol by itself. And then Femigen, I believe with Femigen, you're supposed to take that either an hour before, an hour after. I don't take Femigen anymore, but I believe that is the instruction for that. After food, that is. Don't know if I said that. After food. And the reason is, another fun fact, because the cortisol and our adrenal system actually directly affects how we metabolize food and how we get the nutrients out of food. So that's a lot of what the outer part of the adrenal gland does for us. That's why it's important to balance your carbs, fats, and proteins. And for everybody, that's different. Some people need more protein. Some people need more. I'm a carb efficient person. If I cut carbs, I gain weight. Yeah. Can imagine how many fad diets I've been on and wanted to like strangle myself because I just don't understand it. Right. I'm carb efficient. That's how I run. So that's something you want to find out for sure when you're trying to balance your macronutrients, such as those three things. Some people need more protein. I don't know if you guys know this, but as an adult female, you need 80 milligrams of protein at least for proper brain function. So if you are not getting enough protein, lack of protein can mimic adrenal issues, depression issues, things like that. So protein is our macronutrient for our brain and our muscles. I think we have one other question, huh, Crystal?
Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Liz.
I think your class has been very informative. I just have a question. So I've had about 6 years of complete high stress and almost like fight or flight mode, no break in between.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And I know that because of that, that starts to affect the body. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to level myself out or to give myself the support I need. So my question is, like, I do Progestin Plus. I was gonna order Cortisol to do that, but I see you talked about the vitamin B, which I was taking vitamin B. I need to start back on it. You're talking about vitamin C, the minerals, all these things. What do you recommend? Like, is there a program that I should follow instead of taking one thing here, one thing there?
I would definitely say get a hold of me on Instagram and we can do a consult, okay? Because I can't recommend anything without knowing a little bit more of your history. And just from those that know me that I have been able to work with, either by a head nod or something, you guys can nod that it's really imperative that we do a consult because a lot of where you're at and the history of the stress will show maybe what you need, and it might not be something that's going to help the symptoms. Like cortisol might help symptoms and that might be what's appealing to you, but it's definitely not might not be that. And I have some other ideas in mind. So yeah, please let me know. Get a hold of me so we can do a consult. If there's anything I would tell you, I know for a fact that you can benefit from, Super B and the mineral essence though, because those are the two things stress depletes. So that's safe to get.
Okay. Thank you. I'll reach out to you.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
I think we did it, you guys. Can you believe it? Hold on, let's see. 6:16. We're getting good at this. We are getting good at this. Yay, you guys are so awesome. All right. I think that's it. I'm gonna put real quick some of these different websites in for you guys. Things to look up.
Thank you again, Penny, so much for doing this. This has been like absolutely amazing. You have such a wealth of knowledge, and that you're sharing it with us every single month for like consecutive months is like a gem.
Oh,
really, really special. So thank you. I put your IG handle in there for anybody, and I know that you'll go ahead and put those links in there
I learned
as well.
Had to send links to a whole lot of people last time. I'm like, aha, I need to put these in.
And
there you go.
Yeah, my pleasure.
This is the first time that I've heard you speak, but I want to thank you because I've been taking standard brand for the adrenaline.
Standard process?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I've learned a lot from what you said just today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you know Antonia.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
everyone knows Mia.
Okay, well, she's my granddaughter.
Wonderful, sis. It's
and
nice
I want to say hi to Liz because she also helped me a lot. Hi, everyone. I'm going to leave now, but I want to thank you very much.
Good to see you, Diana.
So sweet. It's always good to see you.
I'm doing better, Liz.
Ay, qué bueno.
Gracias.
De nada.
Okay,
Hasta
bye,
luego.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So Standard Process is a wonderful brand, guys. Actually formulated by chiropractors, believe it or not. That's where it started. But it's a wonderful brand of stuff. But their adrenal one, which is good, their adrenal one's really good, but they are most known for their stress support. And it's kind of funny that Diana brought that up, because if you've ever been to a chiropractor, they tell you that if you have a kink, it's like you're pinching a nerve. Well, the nerves, what they do is they take a signal from the brain and they carry it to whatever organ. And if you're pinching that, you're taking that 100% signal and your body's only getting like 20% of the signal to the organ. So your organ or whatever it is only going to work at a certain percentage of what it actually needs in order to heal. So chiropractic is important for that, or not maybe chiropractic, but just making sure that your alignment and your muscles are holding your alignment in place, etc. And it's kind of the similar thing with the adrenal glands, because they get sluggish and they're only putting out just a little bit less and a little bit less. So kind of goes hand in hand. Thank you guys so much. I see so many new faces too. How cool. Nice to meet you all. And Crystal, thank you. Always thank you. You're so gracious and fabulous and hardworking. We love you to death.
Oh,
yeah. See all the heads? She's got to, she's got to hear it, right?
That's very sweet and kind.
So we'll post the recording in each of your leaders groups. So please see everyone to get those out. You're welcome to share them. And then I will also, it's going to be available on YouTube as well for you guys to always access there if you need it. Perfect. Now go, I'm going to enjoy my rest of my wine. So go enjoy your coffee, tea, water, wine, whiskey, whatever. Float your boat. Sorry, Australia. Enjoy your coffee.
Take care, guys. Thank you, Penny.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Penny.
Bye.
Thanks, Penny. Really enjoyed it.
So much.
Penny.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Amy, don't hate me.